A diplomatic spat has evolved between Israel and 3 countries in the European Union, Ireland, Spain and Belgium. The ambassadors for the 3 countries have been called in for diplomatic castigation in Tel Aviv. Belgian and Spanish prime ministers called on Israel to end the suffering of Palestinians during a recent visit to the Rafah border. Spain's Pedro Sanchez described the attacks on civilians in Gaza as unbearable and unacceptable and said the EU should recognise a Palestinian state. The two also reiterated Israel's right to defend itself and called for Hamas to release all hostages. Meanwhile, the Israeli foreign minister responded by saying, "We condemn the false claims of prime ministers of Belgium and Spain which support terrorism." Meanwhile, the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar used a quote from the song Amazing Grace in welcoming the release of Irish-Israeli girl Emily Hand, who was taken hostage by Hamas. The Israeli president said the quote was unacceptable as it described her being lost and not kidnapped, although the Prime Minister did reiterate she had been kidnapped further in his statement. Irish MEP Billy Kelleher says he's disappointed with the reaction in Israel.
We now have the Israeli government and the Israeli diplomatic service, undermining people who just challenge Israel on the basics of complying with international law, on the basics of allowing humanitarian aid in and out of Gaza, on the basics of allowing medicines, water and just electricity, and the basics of necessity to flow in across the Rafah crossing into Gaza. So, being honest, I'm very disappointed with the diplomatic effort to undermine countries that have always been acting in good faith around the issue of the 2-state solution and the need for there to be a permanent settlement and a peace process in the Middle East itself.
In the meantime, the EU's foreign policy chief Josep Borrell has been calling for prolonging the truce in Gaza. While an extra 2 days pause in hostilities has been agreed, Borrell indicated he would like for the fighting to stop. He was speaking at the Mediterranean Forum, attended by Middle Eastern countries. Israel declined to attend this year.
Hemos tenido una pausa en los combates que tiene que extenderse hasta llegar a hacer posible una solución política que permita romper el ciclo de la violencia.
Israel has vowed to continue its war, saying it won't stop until Hamas is defeated. However, Israeli government sources have told Euronews the US is putting pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to moderate its military offensive to limit civilian casualties. Shona Murray, Euronews, Brussels.